You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q&A review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at Q&A Review. That's at symbol CUEANDREVIEW.
Kirkintilloch Herald, as published on the 23rd of March 2022.
Rob Roy Rally by Liz Gallagher. Supporters turned out in force on Saturday for a campaign rally to bring historic Rob Roy FC home to Kirkintilloch. Organiser Gary Muirhead said he was blown away by the attendance at the event outside the town hall, adding, "The message is loud and clear, it's time to bring Rob Roy home." The rally was part of efforts to end an 8-year exile in Cumbernauld for the club founded in 1878 and move Rob Roy into the new Kirkintilloch sports complex being developed by Eastern Bartonshire Council. Rob Roy FC manager Stuart Maxwell addressed the rally and is on record as warning that the club could fold if they don't get back to Kirkintilloch. He has already collected more than 2,000 signatures on an online petition to bring them home. Work kicked off last month on the new £5 million Kirkintilloch Community Sports Complex. The project is being built on the derelict brownfield site to the west of Park Burn in the town's South Bank area. It is now almost certain that the Rabs will have to fight for the right to run the complex and play their home matches there. In September, club president Neil Anderson, who also addressed Saturday's rally, told the Herald the council are to undertake a marketing exercise for the operation of the facility, as it had to meet a deadline for the construction contract to avoid further costs. Then he added it was not possible to conclude all legal documentation for a deal with the club before signing the construction contract. Article by Liz Gallagher. Get on your bike. Local people are being encouraged to get on their bike to take part in Ride Anywhere Week, which runs until Sunday, March 27th. Cyclists have the chance to win prizes ranging from a 3-month gym membership with Glasgow Life, a free bike service, tickets for the UCI BMX World Cup 2022, gift voucher for Glasgow Climbing Centre, an Uni Fryer pizza oven, and much more. Taking part in Ride Anywhere Week is easy. Just ride for 10 minutes to start working towards your pledge and be in with a chance to win prizes. To enter, people living or working in the area and around Glasgow should sign up to www.lovetoride.net/Glasgow. You can set personal goals, log journeys with friends, families and colleagues, and tap into tips and resources to help people get on their bikes. Join the Litter Challenge. Individuals and businesses across North Lanarkshire are being asked to give up an hour of their time to help pick up litter in a month-long Spring Clean Challenge that starts on March 21st. It aims to address the fact that the council picked up 1,700 tonnes of rubbish from street bins and litter picking last year alone and wants to harness extra help from out with the authority's own staff roster. Already it has teamed up with 3 outside parties to start this, namely Costa and McDonald's plus Keep Scotland Beautiful, with the focus falling on roadside litter. Barry Fisher, CEO of Keep Scotland Beautiful, said, "In North Lanarkshire we have seen lots of people giving up their time to clean up their local areas, despite the challenges of the last 2 years. We would love for as many people as possible to join in." To sign up, see www.keepscotlandbeautiful.org. Move to essential hospital visits only to stem COVID. Some wards at Glasgow Royal Infirmary last week moved to essential visiting only to help protect patients, staff and visitors from the impact of a significant rise in COVID-19. An NHS spokesperson said this was to try to limit further spread of the virus among vulnerable hospital patients, those who matter to them, and the staff who are caring for them. The move impacts all Nightingale wards. These wards are open environments where social distancing between family members, patients and staff, and other mitigations against COVID are more difficult to observe. In all other adult inpatient wards, including shared accommodation on every other site, single rooms, mental health and community and outpatient clinics, people can have support from one visitor at a time. Women on the maternity pathway can have the support of one birth partner and one additional person throughout all outpatient and scan appointments, labour, birth, and in inpatient wards. The exception to this is in wards where there is an active outbreak of COVID-19. In these wards, visiting will be temporarily restricted to essential visiting only until the situation is resolved. Jennifer Rogers, Deputy Nurse Director at NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, said, "There are more than 650 patients with COVID-19 in our hospitals with a diagnosis of 28 days or less. This is having a huge impact on ward and bed closures, patients and staff, and we need to move now to try to limit further spread." MSP welcomes 6% benefit rise. Strathkelvin and Bearsden MSP Rona Mackay has welcomed the news that Social Security payments issued by the Scottish Government will increase by 6% on April 1st. Subject to parliamentary approval, the Job Start Payment, Young Carers Grant, Funeral Support, Best Start Grant and Carers Allowance Supplement will increase by 6%. Families in Strathkelvin and Bearsden can also expect a doubling on the Scottish Child Payment and an increase in Best Start Foods in April. Ms Mackay said, "The SNP Scottish Government is reacting quickly and effectively to support the people in Strathkelvin and Bearsden with the increasing Conservative cost of living crisis. Many families across the Strathkelvin and Bearsden area are facing a squeeze on their incomes as food, fuel and household bills skyrocket. On top of this, many working people will have their pay packets hit by a Tory hike in national insurance in April." Ms Mackay added, "The SNP Scottish Government is taking action to tackle the cost of living. The Tory Chancellor should follow suit and introduce a package of measures to help people in Strathkelvin and Bearsden and across Scotland. Despite these actions by the SNP Scottish Government, it continues to tackle these issues with one hand tied behind its back. Only with the full powers of independence can we build a fairer country." Plans for 167 new homes. There are plans for 167 new homes at Rob Royston by property developers Avant Homes. The house builder has snapped up 17 acres of land and says the £57 million development will help progress the regeneration of the area. Stirling-based Avant said the site just off Daffodil Place and 4 miles from Glasgow city centre will offer 2, 3, 4 and 5 bedroom homes. Subject to getting the thumbs up from Glasgow City Council, initial groundworks are due to get underway this spring, with the first homes set to be launched for sale in the autumn. Avant Homes Scotland MD Jerry Leach said, "Rob Royston has undergone a huge transformation with extensive development over the past decade, making the area an extremely popular location for families. We are pleased to have acquired the land in this prime location to continue the development of this area while fulfilling our growth strategy plans within the region." The Pride of Academy by Liz Gallagher. Schoolgirls from Bishopbriggs Academy have been named runners-up as part of a competition to find the most promising next generation of business investors. The youngsters, aged 13 to 16, were recognised in the Growing Future Assets competition, a contest to nurture future female investment experts and encourage them to consider a career in the industry. But the winning teams faced tough competition to triumph in the finals, with entries up by a record-breaking 300% this year. The schoolgirls from Bishopbriggs Academy were runners-up in the junior 13 to 16 age group category, picking up £400 for the school and £75 in vouchers for every girl in the team. The team from Larbert High School, Falkirk, came out top, winning £800 for their school and £150 each in vouchers. Students Dominica, Ava, Mia, Stella and Shivani from Bishopbriggs said, "We have really enjoyed this experience. We think it has been great that Growing Future Assets recognise the lack of female representation in the investment industry. It has given us the opportunity to build knowledge, confidence and relationships, which will help us as we move through our school years. Financial educators, Future Asset, believe that being female should never be a barrier to progressing in a chosen career. Business education teacher at Bishopbriggs Academy, Alan Young, says, "Watching the development, engagement and ingenuity of the young women who took part in this event was tremendous. It was a fantastic endeavour from all the pupils, and seeing them apply such aptitude to complex issues such as investment is encouraging for the future. The Growing Future Assets Investment Challenge will be something I look forward to supporting in years to come." Broadcaster, writer and author Iona Bain, a judge for the junior competition, adds, "I was incredibly impressed by the quality and maturity of the finalists' presentations this year. I'm sure some will now be seriously thinking about coming into finance, and that gives me hope. They can give the investment industry a much-needed kick up the bum by offering fresh, unique perspectives on the problems and opportunities facing investors in the 21st century. I look forward to seeing these talented young women shaking things up in the years to come." During the competition, youngsters had to prove their ability to spot the next big investment prospect by researching, analysing and pitching a company from a selection of 38 businesses. The Bishopbriggs Academy team pitched renewable energy company Ørsted, which produces high-performance building material from renewable wood sources, all considered environmental sustainability of central importance. Mari Dudley, head of marketing at Ørsted, said, "Reducing barriers and widening participation in traditionally male-dominated industries is vital for us to keep achieving our goals and protecting the environment. It's inspiring to see these values held to such high esteem by future generations." More than 80 groups, totaling almost 370 girls, took part from all over Scotland. Article by Liz Gallagher. They're Smooth Operators by Liz Gallagher. Residents at Four Seasons Campsie View Care Home in Kirkintilloch have been enjoying some fruity fun during Nutrition and Hydration Week by helping the home's chef come up with a variety of smoothie recipes. Last week's smoothie menu included flavours like peach melba, berry and oat, as well as a more unusual peanut butter and banana blend, which went down a treat. Chef Wayne Woolman said, "As we get older, our bodies may find it harder to store essential fats and sugars. Drinking smoothies is a good way to maintain a healthy weight, and it's great fun trying different ingredients. It's easy to fortify smoothies by adding in high-energy foods like custard, ice cream, milk powder and honey to increase calories where needed. Food and drink play an important role in the care home, whether it's trying new things, bringing back fond memories, socializing with others, as well as essential nutrition. Residents also enjoy creating their own dishes as part of the home's weekly cookery club. Resident Joyce Payne, aged 99, said, "I've enjoyed trying all the smoothies. They're much more exciting than just eating a piece of fruit, and easy to get my 5 a day. The peanut butter and banana one sounded strange, but it was definitely my favourite." Nora Gilliver, 99, added, "I wouldn't mind having smoothies more often. When I was younger, I had a blueberry bush in my garden. They're so good for you." View the recipes at www.fshc.co.uk/rnews/lifeinourcarehomes/smoothies helping things run smoothly.
100 Days to Save Historic Steamer. Report by Julie Curry. The SOS, Save Our Steamship, public funding appeal has entered a crucial phase. One final push has been made to raise the outstanding funds required to restore the historic steamship Sir Walter Scott, one of Scotland's most important maritime heritage treasures. The 122-year-old vessel has been out of service on Loch Katrine since 2020, following the discovery of cracks in the previous boilers. £330,000 of the £500,000 required for the restoration has now been secured by the Steamship Trust, its custodians on behalf of the nation. As James Fraser, trustee and CEO of the Trust, explained, this success is mainly due to the enormous public support for the appeal and the goodwill of businesses and many volunteers who have stepped forward to help. Almost every day, we're receiving public donations, large and small, often accompanied by messages showing their deep affection for Sir Walter Scott's steamship, he said. We're therefore much closer to being able to save, restore, and bring back into service Scotland's much loved and oldest passenger carrying steamer. We are now refocusing the appeal with a mission to raise the outstanding £170,000 in the next 100 days to get Sir Walter Scott's steamship sailing again later this summer. We believe that ambitious target can be met with further public support and would welcome any donations and sponsorships to help fund the new decking and other important restoration works. The 100-day campaign began on March 18th and will conclude on Sunday, June the 26th, when, if the remaining funds have been secured, the Trust should be able to reintroduce sailings on Loch Katrine. Members of the public can support the appeal via the special website www.saveoursteamship.com or by post with cheques payable to Steamship Sir Walter Scott Trust, Toxteth Pier, by calendar FK17H. FK17 8HZ. There are also donation points at several locations at Loch Katrine for visitors to use, and it is hoped businesses, local communities and individuals will help organise additional fundraising activities to help achieve the final total. 80 signing up to gift card. More than 80 businesses are helping the area's fight back from COVID-19 by signing up to accept the East Northamptonshire gift card. The independent retailers and locally based national chains are urging customers to show local loyalty, protecting local jobs, and laying firm foundations for a post-pandemic future. East Northamptonshire gift card can only be spent with businesses in the area, locking money into the local economy. The card is part of the Scotland Loves Local gift card programme being rolled out by Scotland's Towns Partnership, SDP, alongside Scottish fintech MyConnects, with launch costs met by the Scottish Government. Chief Executive of the Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce, Damon Scott, says the recent sign-ups will help build momentum for the scheme. He added, "This is a gift card for East Northamptonshire, and building the number of variety of businesses we have on board will make it more attractive for customers to buy and employers to use for their staff. There are no costs for merchants to be involved, and they accept the gift card like any other card payment. With the announcement of £80 million COVID Recovery Fund, this is a huge opportunity for us to inject money back into our local economies through our local gift cards." Tony Lanson, Place Manager for Mogai Business Improvement District, said, "We are pleased to see the evolution of the gift card concept across Scotland, following on from our initial investment in 2019 to help demonstrate that local communities would buy into the idea. We would also like to encourage all local people to continue to shop local and think local first and support their local businesses at this time and in the long term. Buying a gift card is a direct way of doing this, as it locks in funds to the local economy, and our research demonstrates that people are really enthused to show support for their local high streets." SDP, the organisation behind the wider Scotland Loves Local campaign, is urging people to get behind businesses in their area to help its recovery from the pandemic. Chief Officer Phil Prentice said, "It's fantastic to see such a strong response to the launch of the gift card in East Northamptonshire. The more businesses that sign up, the more opportunities there are for customers to use them, and the stronger its power becomes for the entire region's economy. The pandemic, and the fact that we have spent more of our lives locally, has been a wake-up call as to how many great businesses and attractions there are on their doorstep. We want to give residents every chance they can to show their loyalty to them. Each card can only be spent in the region for which it is branded, meaning it is effectively a new form of local currency. The only requirement for businesses signing up is that they must have a physical presence in the region in which they're registering. Registering is free, with payments being processed through the MasterCard network. Celebrating our harvest, anything grows with Dandelion. Report by Julie Curry. People across Scotland are being invited to sow, grow and share as part of a special festival kicking off next month. Dandelion invites Scots of all ages to take part in a groundbreaking Grow Your Own initiative with the aim of rediscovering our connection to the food we eat and how it can be grown. Beginning in April and following the arc of the growing season, it will culminate in September with hundreds of harvest festivals across the country. The festival, commissioned by Event Scotland and funded by the Scottish Government, is Scotland's contribution to Unboxed creativity in the UK. 10 major projects taking place around the UK in 2022, 5 of which will be presented in Scotland. 59 Productions About Us opened the Unboxed programme in Paisley in March, with Story Trails, Dream Machine, Green Space, Dark Skies and Pollinations to follow, in addition to Dandelion. However, Dandelion is the main event, driven by the concept of sow, grow, share. And it will share not just food, but ideas, music, cooking and public art, in partnership with arts and community growing organisations around the country. Inspired by the global Grow Your Own movement and a surge in home growing during lockdown, Dandelion aims to make growing your own food as easy and accessible as possible to people of all ages across Scotland, from the remotest islands to the centres of cities, as well as to audiences online and around the world through films and digital activities. 12 unexpected gardens will spring up as part of the programme, showing that even the unlikeliest of places can bloom. The edible gardens will spring up across Scotland from the borders to the Highlands and Islands, in urban, rural and remote locations. Open from April to September, each garden will host a programme of events unique to their location throughout the summer, programmed by a creative producer. A local musician in residence will also be appointed to each site, with applications now open to create a new piece of work to be presented at the culminating in harvest event in September. Additionally, the gardens will be visited by Dandelion's specially designed cubes of perpetual light, part artwork, part miniature vertical farms. The cubes will grow hundreds of seedlings under LED light, showcasing the latest technological innovation in horticulture. Dandelion's unexpected gardens will even include one stunning floating garden, which will tour the Forth and Clyde Canal and the Union Canal. Consisting of 2 barges and floating ecosystems that will be delivered in collaboration with urban waterscaping specialists, Biomatrix, the floating garden, will engage communities across central Scotland, from local growers and schools to members of the public. Launching from Glasgow in June, the floating garden will pass through Bishopbriggs, Kirkintilloch, Auchenstary, Bonnyriggs, Polmont, Linlithgow, Broxburn, Ratho and Edinburgh, before docking at the Helix in Falkirk until September. Other sites include Findhorn Bee Arts Gardens in the centre of Forres. The unique gardens will respond to the town's main square, and multiple alleys, promoting the growing of mushrooms which will thrive in dark and shadowy incubates. In Fife, the Leaving programme will convert the car park of the centre, a community space, into a garden site, which Cove Park Argyll will look to the water as they use tidal sites in Loch Long and Gairloch to focus on food and flora native to the area. Edinburgh Agroecology Group will develop a garden site at Lauriston Farm, and Rig Arts will take over a site behind Southwest Library in Greenock. Tate Bacha in Eust, Fives Rolls in Alness, the Stove Network and Stranraer Development Trust, Alchemy Film and Arts in the Borders and a partnership of organisations in Dundee are also dusting off their green fingers to get involved. Neil Butler, Dandelion Festival and Events Director, said, "We are excited to announce the location of our unexpected gardens and looking forward to watching each of the gardens come to life as they grow. Sustainability lies at the heart of our programme, and we can't wait to see people from all over Scotland sowing, growing and sharing food, music and ideas. The festival will also engage the next generation of growers, with 100,000 children invited to participate in the Dandelion School Growing Initiative, which will see 200 specially adapted growing cubes distributed to 100 secondary schools, working with 400 feeder primaries. Pupils will be part of the largest community-led growing experience ever undertaken in Scotland. Dandelion will also present 2 free outdoor live music and food festivals, bookending the summer, one in Glasgow in June and the other in Inverness in early September. To find out more about Dandelion and the full Unboxed programme, visit dandelion.scot. Council elections. SNP name their candidates. Report by Liz Gallagher. East Dunbartonshire SNP have published their list of candidates for the Scottish Council elections, which take place on Thursday, May the 5th. The SNP group leader, Councillor Gordon Lowe, said, SNP councillors have a track record of working with their constituents and standing up for the interests of our local communities. This year, we're fielding a mix of experienced councillors and community activists, all deeply rooted in their local areas and looking forward to the campaign. We're aiming to return a group that's stronger than ever, committed to working together with our MPs and MSPs and in partnership with our communities. With many challenges we all face, recovery from the pandemic, the cost of living crisis and climate change, it's vital we have a council that's responsive to local need, open and transparent. The more of us elected, the more we can do. Local MSP Rona Mackay said, it's vitally important that each and every one of these talented candidates is elected. It's time for a council that works hard and puts the residents of East Dunbartonshire first, instead of the current Tory/Lib Dem coalition of chaos. Ward 4, Bishopbriggs North and Campsie, Paul Ferretti and Linda Williamson. Paul Ferretti is a current SNP councillor and has represented Bishopbriggs North and Campsie since 2017. He was born and brought up in Lennoxtown and has lived in the ward all his life. Linda Williamson was born and brought up in Bishopbriggs, where she attended Balmoody Primary School and Bishopbriggs High School. She has served on both Torrance Playgroup Committee and Balclare Parent Council and currently a constituency office manager. Ward 5, Bishopbriggs South, Gordon Lowe. Gordon Lowe has been the SNP councillor for Bishopbriggs South since 2007 and has always lived in the ward. He has been the SNP group leader since 2017. Ward 6, Lindsay and Kirkintilloch South, Gillian Renwick. Gillian Renwick was born and brought up locally and has been the SNP councillor for Lindsay and Kirkintilloch South since 2007. She has been deputy SNP group leader since 2017. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch East and North and Twaker, Pamela Marshall and Alex Morrison. Pamela Marshall has lived in Kirkintilloch for 15 years and been a volunteer with the Community Council for the last 5. She has assisted with the logistics of the Kirky Gala Day and is currently the coordinator for the Kirky Picture Palace. Alex Morrison, an IT consultant, has worked in a range of sectors including the NHS, retail, manufacturing and education. Born and brought up in East Dunbartonshire, he has lived in the ward for the last 20 years. The SNP councillors who are standing down this election are Morag Fitcher, Bishopbriggs North and Campsie, and John Jameson, Kirkintilloch East, North and Twaker. Councillor Jameson is retiring after 15 years service. This article, produced in association with the UK Government. Levelling Up plans will address work challenges and embrace innovation. The UK Government is on a mission to level up the UK, with millions of pounds being invested right here in Glasgow and Renfrewshire to bring jobs and opportunities. Our region will see more than £52 million devoted to improving connectivity, creating employment opportunities and redeveloping buildings under the wide-ranging plans to ensure we can all live longer, more fulfilling lives and benefit from better living standards. The Levelling Up Cash Boost aimed to transform the UK by spreading prospects and prosperity to every corner as part of the ambitious proposals to close its long-standing geographical gaps by 2030. Tackling employment challenges. People in Glasgow and Renfrewshire will also benefit from the £1 billion Glasgow City Region deal, £500 million each from the UK and Scottish governments, making it one of the largest deals in the UK. The funding focuses on three key themes: improving infrastructure, supporting business innovation and growth, and bringing skills training to address the employment challenges in the city and further afield. Investing in pioneering projects. A £13 million cash injection to help Pollock Stables and Sawmill project restore as well as redevelop its existing buildings, as well as creating net zero carbon living heritage centre and visitor attraction in Pollock Country Park, has been welcomed by Councillor Susan Aitken, leader of Glasgow City Council. This project will deliver a fantastic economic, environmental and social return to Glasgow as a result of this support, she says. The initiative, which spans social enterprises and community groups, is focused on turning power generation into modern renewable technologies. It will bring opportunities for training and employability skills development for local people as well as offering environmental benefits. Boosting precision medicine. The University of Glasgow was awarded £38 million for the Living Laboratory from the UK Research and Innovation Programme to help areas across the UK benefit from existing strengths in research and innovation. The £90 million Living Laboratory brings together a number of partners to address the biggest challenge currently facing precision medicine: the adoption of healthcare innovations into clinical practice for the benefit of patients, building on the city's existing leadership and infrastructure in the field. Celebrating the city's art. The Borough Collection, an international art collection scheduled to reopen in spring 2022, received a £3 million boost from the government last year. One of the greatest art collections ever assembled by one person, spanning 6,000 years, its reopening will be key to the city's post-pandemic recovery and establishing Glasgow as a tourism destination of choice. Relocating to Glasgow. In 2021, the Cabinet Office announced plans to relocate over 1,000 civil service roles to Scotland, including a new headquarters in Glasgow, where more than 500 staff will be based by 2025, along with new ministerial offices. This is in addition to 500 roles in moving to the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office's second HQ in East Kilbride, taking the total there to 1,500 by 2025. Improving transport links in Renfrewshire. Road, rail and active travel links to the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation District, Scotland, AMIDS, will be given a boost by the award of £38.7 million from the Levelling Up Fund. The scheme will improve connections between Paisley Town Centre and the district, which has become Scotland's home for manufacturing innovation, meaning residents can access wider education and employment opportunities. Giving everyone the chance to thrive. The UK is a fantastic success story in so many ways, but not everyone shares equally in that success. This is why the UK government has launched its Levelling Up plans to transform our country and give everyone the chance to thrive. It sets bold targets to change the way government operates, improve public services and empower local leaders and communities to narrow the UK's geographical divide by 2030. Radical new policies will form the heart of the government's agenda for the rest of the decade, including narrowing the huge inequalities in healthy life expectancy by 2030, then, by 2035, seeing that life expectancy increased by 5 years. Improving public transport with more, faster trains and better links for the UK's remote areas. Faster broadband for everyone, with most of us able to access 5G coverage by 2030. Making sure our homes are fit for the 21st century. Other plans aim to restore a sense of local community and belonging where they've been lost in investing in our high streets and town centres. And there is a focus on growing the private sector to increase productivity and bring better, more well-paid jobs to the parts of the UK that need them most. So what will levelling up mean for you? Where people live unfairly affects their chances of getting on in life, but what will levelling up mean for you? The proposals will see a whopping £4.8 billion invested in regeneration projects across the UK, with cash being injected into transport, education, broadband and much more. The plans focus on the success of the whole country, realising the potential of every place and every person across the UK by building on the unique strengths and spreading opportunities for individuals and businesses. Depending on where you are in the UK, levelling up will mean different things. In one place, it may mean more affordable social housing, while in another area, it might mean it's easier to access funding to boost your company, a high street to be proud of, or more green space for families to enjoy. Find out more and have yours say it gov.uk/levellingupsurvey. Make litter history with a spring clean. Report by Julie Curry. Keep Scotland Beautiful, Historic Environment Scotland and the Scottish Government are calling for everyone to make litter history by joining a Spring Clean Challenge from March the 21st to April the 21st. Circular Economy Minister Lorna Slater joined representatives from the two charities at a launch event on March 18th at Blackness Castle near Linlithgow, kicking off 4 years of litter busting action. Keep Scotland Beautiful's research has revealed that 88% of Scots agree that litter is a problem and 70% are concerned about littering in their area. Barry Fisher, Chief Executive of Keep Scotland Beautiful, said, "Across Scotland, we have seen a steady increase in the amount of litter over the past decade. While this is a real challenge, we are heartened by the incredible work of litter pickers, heroes, up and down the country. Our communities already play a vital role in taking action to tackle litter. Across Scotland, we have seen lots of people giving up their time to clean up their local areas, despite the challenges of the last 2 years. We are delighted to have launched our challenge and would love as many people as possible to join in. Make litter a thing of the past and give Scotland a spring clean this March and April. If you feel frustrated about litter in your community, Spring Clean Scotland is a perfect opportunity to make a difference by picking up litter on your local beach, streets, parks and beyond. Schools can get involved too, with a live lesson open to schools in Scotland. Circular Economy Minister Lorna Slater said, "No one should have their visit to one of Scotland's heritage sites ruined by litter and mess. To help make sure our historic locations are in good condition for others, please put your rubbish in the bin, recycling it where possible." The Scottish Government is currently consulting on a revised national litter and fly tipping strategy. Lorna added, "We are consulting on proposals to help rid Scotland of the problem of litter and fly tipping. I would encourage everyone to have their say." To find out more about Spring Clean Scotland, visit www.keepscotlandbeautiful.org/springclean. Pupils meet Canine hero. Report by Liz Gallagher. The Scottish SPCA launched a free educational toolkit to educate local primary and secondary school pupils about animals' emotions and the power of the human-animal bond at the Scottish Parliament last week. The animal welfare charity has teamed up with retired police dog Fabulous Finn and his owner and handler, PC Dave Wardle, to share their story as a way of recognising that the animals have feelings too. In 2016, Finn was viciously stabbed whilst on duty. When the attacker aimed a second blow at his handler, police officer David Wardle, Finn, despite his life-threatening injuries, dived in front of him and saved Dave's life. Dave said, "Fabulous Finn and I are enormously proud to be part of this very important project with the Scottish SPCA. Animals have always been incredibly important to me when growing up with a parent who had mental health issues. We want to show children how important the human-animal relationship can be and how we can learn so much from our animals." He added, We have heard so many wonderful stories of how pets have supported people through the pandemic. For example, that bond can be second to none. That bond is what saved my life in 2016. That bond is what helped change a number of laws. It's that bond that saw us reach the finals of Britain's Got Talent in 2019, a platform we used to discuss animal welfare in our campaigns to over 10 million people. Scottish SPCA Head of Education, Gilly Mendes Federia, said, "The free toolkit focuses on bringing the human-animal bond to life through the use of real stories like Finn and Dave. It aims to encourage young people to recognise animals have emotions too. The toolkit includes interactive games, quizzes and activities which link to all areas of the curriculum. We have a toolkit for primary schools and a separate toolkit for secondary schools. Schools will have the opportunity to meet Dave and Finn at the Society's virtual events on Friday the 25th of March. School teachers or parents / carers can sign up at meetfabulousfinn.eventbrite.co.uk. This week in history. March the 22nd, 1979, the British ambassador in Holland, Sir Richard Sykes, was shot dead by 2 IRA gunmen who opened fire outside his home in The Hague. On this day last year, the King and Queen in Belgium paid tribute to the victims of the suicide bombings that killed 32 people and injured hundreds more in the Brussels subway and airport 5 years earlier. March the 23rd, 1966, the first meeting for 400 years between the Catholic and Anglican churches took place in Rome between Pope Paul VI and Dr. Ramsay, the Archbishop of Canterbury. March 24th, 1944, the breakout of prisoner of war camp Stalag Luft III by 76 inmates began. The event was the inspiration for the Great Escape movie. March the 25th, 1957, 6 nations, West Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, signed the Treaty of Rome to create the European Economic Community. March 26, 1937, Popeye became the first cartoon character to have his statue erected by spinach growers in Crystal City, Texas. On this day last year, a schoolboy celebrated a year camping in his garden by urging kids from across the world to join him to mark the occasion. March 27th, 1966, football's World Cup trophy was found in a garden in South London by a dog called Pickles after it was stolen from a public exhibition in Westminster Hall a week earlier. £15 million to support Ukraine effort. A further £15 million of funding will be made available to the Scottish Government to support Scotland's response to the illegal invasion of Ukraine. The funds will be used to bolster the support available to Ukrainian nationals arriving in Scotland, with just over £11 million to be allocated to local authorities and £2.25 million to be set aside for temporary accommodation. An additional £1.4 million has been allocated to the Scottish Refugee Council for the expansion of its refugee integration service. Detailed preparations to welcome those arriving in Scotland from Ukraine are already underway. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said, "Our duty is to ensure that the practical assistance we provide matches the warmth and goodwill of the people across the country. We have an obligation to play our full part in the global humanitarian effort and offer sanctuary, security and a home to thousands of people who desperately need it. Obviously, as a matter of priority, we are working to secure immediate temporary accommodation that is safe and comfortable for people, while longer-term arrangements are put in place. In addition to harnessing voluntary support, we are reassessing other long-term housing options. This will include, where available, local authority and housing association properties, but also private sector or holiday accommodation. We have recent experience of successfully integrating refugees into our communities, schools and workplaces. I'm confident we'll provide not just refuge, but a warm welcome and a helping hand to those whose lives have been ripped apart." On the official publication date of this week's Kirkintilloch Herald, Wednesday the 23rd of March 2022, the sunrise time shall be 6:11 AM and sunset shall be 6:36 p.m, both times GMT. And don't forget, this Sunday the clocks go forward. From this week's Kirkintilloch Herald, dated Wednesday the 23rd of March 2022, let's talk the letters page. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@gnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKY@GNScotland.co.uk. Brexit, the gift that just keeps on taking. Sir, the behaviour of the parent company of P&O Ferries towards their UK employees shouldn't come as a surprise. The messages coming from the Westminster Brexit cabal, in a constant competition to outdo the UKIP-driven benefit promises expected from Brexit, give a strong indication that employee rights would be up for grabs in Brexit Britain. The owners of P&O Ferries have just proved to anyone who wants to disregard employer rights in Britain will be walking through a wide open door. Brexit, the gift that keeps on taking. Yours, etc., Ian Waugh. Address supplied. Ukraine war has turned net zero into a pipe dream. Sir, net zero? The Ukraine war changes everything. The EU is to classify gas and nuclear as clean energy. Oil and gas drilling in and around the United Kingdom will be allowed on national security grounds. The Oil and Gas Authority is considering extending the use of 2 fracking sites in Lanarkshire. Germany is to restart its mothballed coal power stations. Europe is importing more coal. China's and India's coal consumption is escalating. Russia and China are to build a pipeline taking Russian gas to China. There are no reliable and renewable sources for electricity generation. Only gas, coal and nuclear can instantly react to demand. The Ukraine war created hundreds of thousands of tonnes of emissions, and rebuilding will create even more. Net zero is now a green pipe dream. Yours, etc., Clark Cross, via email. Last thing on minds right now is petty nationalism. Sir, as we have become well accustomed to hearing, the devotees of Scottish nationalism keep on demanding that another referendum on independence should take place soon. The fact that their cause was defeated back in 2014 does not seem to deter them. Meanwhile, they are perfectly happy to accept the funding provided by the Westminster Exchequer to markedly supplement essential services such as, for example, health, education, policing, welfare, agricultural grants, local authority expenditure, etc. And the question being asked by many Scots at present is, what has happened to the SNP's ring-fenced independence referendum campaign fund? In any case, as is widely known, without a Section 30 order under the Scotland Acts, no unofficial second referendum on such a matter will be legally binding. The Scottish Parliament has no such powers pertaining to constitutional matters. And, despite any posturing in the media on this subject by President of the SNP, Michael Russell, nothing is going to change such a situation. With parts of the world in turmoil at the present time, the last thing that the people of the United Kingdom, which includes Scotland, are concerned about is petty nationalism on the part of the SNP. Yours, etc., Robert I.G. Scott. Address supplied. Three Peaks Challenge to help tackle meningitis. Sir, we're inviting outdoor enthusiasts to join charity Meningitis Now on an exhilarating but scenic adventure to help us beat the deadly disease. The Three Peaks Challenge between Friday and Sunday, June the 10th and 12th, entails climbing Snowdon, Scafell Pike and Ben Nevis, the highest peaks in Wales, England and Scotland, over just 36 hours. It is not for the faint-hearted, but participants will take an enormous amount of satisfaction from the challenge, whilst enjoying the beautiful scenery and supporting our fight to beat meningitis in the UK within a generation. Sadly, meningitis and septicemia continue to affect thousands of people in the UK and kill more under 5 than any other infectious disease. Help us to fund research to eradicate this devastating disease, raise life-saving awareness and support those affected. We'd love you to join our team. You'll find all the information you need to sign up on our website at www.meningitisnow.org or email fundraising@meningitisnow.org. Yours, etc., Kirsty Owen Hayward, Fundraising Manager, Meningitis Now. And that was this week's letters from the Let's Talk page of the Kirkintilloch Herald. District News, Churches section. Kirkintilloch Church of God. On Sunday in the Regent Hall, Regent Street, there is a family praise service at 4 p.m. This features our praise band, video presentations and guest speaker John Black from Greenock. Refreshments will be served after the service. COVID-safe measures are in place. Come to Coffee Corner on Wednesday from noon till 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. St Columba's Church. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at 10:30 a.m. each week, where we consider to study the Gospel of Luke together. We also have a children and young persons ministry running alongside the service on a Sunday morning, and visitors' children are always welcome. You're also most welcome to our midweek service at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday as we look together at the Book of Acts. We'd be really glad to meet you and join you for tea or coffee or juice after either of these services if you're able to stay for that. If you can't come to a service in person, you can still connect with us via live stream via our website on www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We also have a full programme of events during the week, including Little Fishies, our community carer and toddler group, and the first Kirkintilloch Boys Brigade. Please see the church website for more details. Reverend Philip Bright, Minister, St Columba's, Kirkintilloch, Old Isle Road, G66 3HQ. P. Wright at churchofscotland.org.uk. Mobile 07427 623 393. Home Church, Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, Glasgow, G66 2AB. With all that I am, wait quietly before God, for my hope is in Him. He alone is my rock and my fortress, where I will not be shaken. Psalm 62, verses 5-6. Home Church welcomes you to any of our Sunday services and midweek activities as follows: 9:30 a.m, Communion, 10 a.m, Prayer Time, 10:30 a.m, Fellowship, tea and coffee available, 11 a.m, Worship service in Children's Church, followed by tea and coffee. The main service at 11 a.m. is online and in person. One church, Home Church, 4 locations, soon to be 5. Kirkintilloch, North Coast, Northern Ireland, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. A new location is opening up in Glasgow on Sunday, April the 3rd. Wednesday, 6:30 p.m, home group for families. 7:30 p.m, prayer and home groups. 7:30 p.m, online home group. Saturday, March the 26th, concert at Home Church to raise funds for Ukraine. Sunday, March 27th, Baptism Sunday. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our morning service on March the 27th will be at our usual time of 10:30 a.m. and will be led by our Church of Scotland reader, John Nicholson. During our morning worship, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls for their own time of fun and learning with JAM. All are welcome to attend our service. We would ask that you continue to wear a face mask during the service, unless exempt from doing so. We look forward to welcoming you to the church. Our Tuesday lunchtime services have now resumed and take place each Tuesday from noon till 12:30pm, with the next service on March 29th. All are welcome to attend. The Dandelion are back meeting every second Tuesday evening, and the next meet is on March 29th from 7:30pm to 9:30pm. COVID measures are still in place for the duration. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector, the Reverend Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. The church is now open for socially distanced services, face mask essential, this Thursday at 11am and on Sunday at 9am and 10:30am. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea or coffee and fellowship afterwards while regulations permit. The Meditation Labyrinth is still available in the car park for a mindful walk round. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date and further information, refer to our social media. Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Colston Well Park Church. A warm welcome to our Sunday service this Sunday at 11am, led by the Reverend Leslie Grieve, followed by tea and coffee after the service. The Colston Art Club continues this Monday, starting at 10am to 1pm, and is open to all who enjoy any form of art and good company. The food bank remains open every Monday and Friday from 2pm to 4pm. A special thanks to all who continually contribute to this worthwhile cause. The Bible study continues this Wednesday, March 23rd at 7:30pm in the church hall. All church organisations groups are working hard to return to normal activities as soon as possible. Catch our church services on Facebook at Colston Well Park Parish Church, and if you require any further information on any church activities etc., please contact Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Sunday worship will be led by Reverend Dan Carmichael at 11am in the church. Young people are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is available on YouTube via our website. Tea and coffee may be served in the hall after the Sunday service. Sunday chat is at 12:30pm on Zoom. Message Church is on Saturday, 2nd of April, 4 to 5pm in the new hall. Enjoy some all-age fun. Craft Cafe is on Tuesday the 29th of March at Dean House between 2pm and 4pm. Bring your own craftwork or join in with a group project. The meeting place and coffee shop is open on Wednesdays 10am till 11:30am in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to join us, where we will also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. Youth Cafe is open for young people in S1 to S6 every Thursday from 3:45 to 5pm. Games, chats, snacks and activities. The Coffee Pot is open on Fridays 10am till 11:30am in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. At all events, face coverings are required unless exempt, and test and protect details collected in line with a guide. Kenmure Parish Church. As we move ever closer towards Easter, Cheryl Wood and Fiona Young will lead us in our 4th Sunday in Lent service, starting at 11am. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Details of all of our groups that are now running can be found on the website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. And that was this week's District News Church Texting. This week's General District News from the Kirkintilloch Herald. Citizens Advice Meeting. Eastern Bartonshire Citizens Advice Bureau give notice of their virtual annual general and public meeting to be held on Wednesday, March the 30th at 2 p.m. Please contact us on 0141 775 3220 or by email bureau@easternbartonshirecab.casonline.org.uk to receive the Zoom meeting link. Nominations to the Trustee Board from interested parties welcomed. Scottish Registered Charity SCO 23348. Fuel prices. The rising cost of fuel is driving motorists off the roads as drivers cut back on unnecessary trips. New research from Confused.com found that 2 in 5, 40% of UK drivers are making a conscious effort to drive less in order to save on fuel, as recent increases in the cost of fuel puts prices at the highest on record. Reports suggest that fuel prices could reach £2 per litre, which puts the average cost of filling a medium tank at a staggering £100. Experts at Confused.com suggest that our wage drivers can improve their fuel economy and make the miles last longer. Inflate tyres to the correct pressure. The surface area that's in contact with the road increases when a tyre is underinflated. The more surface area in contact with the road, the more drag on the wheel. Go easy on the accelerator. Try to keep your driving smooth. Gentle acceleration and using the highest safe gear should use less fuel. Avoid idling. Running your engine at idle consumes roughly half a gallon to about a gallon of fuel every hour. This means you're burning about 1.067 to 2.13 ounces of fuel every minute you're idle. Alex Kindred, car insurance expert at Confused.com, said, "Making changes to the way we drive could help to save money and fuel and reduce the amount to top up. Checking tyre pressure, reducing the amount we accelerate or idle, or lowering the air conditioning could make fuel last that bit longer." HMRC scams. HM Revenue and Customs, HMRC, is warning self-assessment customers to be on their guard following the self-assessment deadline after more than 570,000 scams were reported to HMRC in the last year. At this time of year, self-assessment customers are at the increased risk of falling victim to scams, even if they don't mention self-assessment. They can be taken in by scam texts, emails or calls, either offering a refund or demanding unpaid tax, thinking that they are genuine HMRC communications referring to their self-assessment return. In the last 12 months to January 2022, nearly 222,000 scams reported to HMRC offered bogus tax rebates. Criminals target unsuspecting self-assessment customers and try and steal money or personal information. They use phone calls, texts and emails to try and dupe citizens and often mimic government messages to make them appear authentic. In January 2022, phone scams rose to 3,995 compared to 425 reported in April 2020. Myrtle Lloyd, HMRC's Director General for Customer Services, said, "If someone contacts you saying they're from the HMRC, wanting you to transfer money or give personal information, be on your guard. Never let yourself be rushed, and if you're in any doubt, then check out our HMRC scams advice on gov.uk. Customers can report suspicious phone calls using a form on gov.uk. Customers can also forward suspicious emails claiming to be from HMRC to phishing@hmrc.gov.uk. That's phishing@hmrc.gov.uk and text to 60599. Unclaimed benefits. Age Scotland identified £564,494 in benefits were not claimed by older people who called the charity helpline last year. The figure was revealed in Age Scotland's annual impact report for 2021 from data collected by the organisation's helpline. Scotland's national charity for older people said the amount was the tip of the iceberg and estimated that millions of pounds are still going unclaimed by older people across the country. The money identified was driven, in part, by Age Scotland's check-in, cash-out campaign, which launched in 2021 to raise awareness of what benefits are available and ensure that older people don't miss out on vital financial support. Brian Sloan, Age Scotland's chief executive, said, "For many older people in Scotland, claiming the benefits they are entitled to can be the difference between heating their home or in winter or not. We know there are at least 150,000 pensioners in Scotland living in relative poverty, and that figure will surely rise unless older people are given the opportunity to claim money that is rightfully theirs." Our check-in, cash-out campaign got off to a flying start by raising awareness of benefit entitlements and encouraging older people to call our helpline for a free benefits check. We want to build on that by letting more older people know our helpline advisors are here to give expert advice that can make a huge difference to an older person's life. Among the benefits not being claimed were attendance allowance, housing benefit and carers allowance. Free benefits checks are available to anyone over 50. Call Age Scotland's helpline on 0800 1244 222. That's 0800 1244 222. Voice from Westminster. Shameful Ukrainian refugee policy. Amy Callaghan, MP. The last fortnight has been nothing short of a tragedy, all at the hands of Vladimir Putin. The scenes from Ukraine have left people across the world bereft. On the day Putin ordered his illegal invasion of Ukraine, Ireland threw open its doors to Ukrainians. In concert with other EU nations, Ireland is offering temporary protection to Ukrainians for at least a year. But in the UK, the Home Office merely tinkered around the edges of its restrictive visa system. When 800,000 refugees were in Poland, and Ireland had welcomed 1,300 Ukrainians, only 50 people had made it to these shores. Of course, that didn't stop the Home Office claiming the UK had the first visa scheme in the world to launch post-invasion. Easier to achieve when you're the only country in Western Europe persevering with one. That scheme has resulted in long queues outside UK visa centres across Europe. This shambolic response should embarrass the UK ministers. But then, this is the government pushing through a bill that would criminalise refugees that make it to the UK. It is in stark contrast to the EU approach. For instance, Dublin Airport has opened with a reception centre equipped with phone chargers, SIM card, toys, nappies and other basic supplies, in recognition that some Ukrainians have fled with little more than the clothes on their backs. After all, we're talking about people whose cities have been flattened. Yet, the UK government expects Ukrainians to have the correct documentation to complete a visa application and somewhere to stay while they wait for the result. I have 3 cases of constituents stranded in mainland Europe. One woman is living out of a suitcase in Latvia with her 1-year-old baby. Although thankfully now resolved, when I first raised her case, I was told it was not a priority. And, sadly, that is the reality of the UK approach. Ukrainian refugees are not a priority. But it's not too late to do the right thing. Let's start by removing all visa requirements for Ukrainians and introducing a safe route to the UK. The UK government must step into line with Europe. We need a continent-wide, historic approach to this refugee crisis, not ministers hiding in the Brexit shadows, belling empty promises and hollow words.
Planning notices. East Bartonshire Council public notices. The East Bartonshire Council, Bogray Road, Lenzie. Temporary closure, Order 2022. On the 22nd of March 2022, the East Bartonshire Council made the above-named order under Section 14 (1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984, as amended, which makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle (with the exception of emergency service vehicles, vehicles engaged in the works, and those vehicles requiring access to properties adjacent to the closed section of road, when it is safe and practical to do so (on Boghead Road), Lenzie between its junctions with Moss Head Road and Pinewood Avenue by reason of works being executed on or near this road. The order will operate from 8 a.m. on Monday, 4th of April until 6 p.m. on Sunday, the 17th of April 2022. Alternative route. The alternative routes will be by way of Boghead Road, Gill Hill Road, the B757 Lenzie Road, Townhead, Parliament Road, the A806 New Lairdsland Road, the A803 Glasgow Road in Kirkintilloch, the A803 Kirkintilloch Road, Cole Road in Bishopbriggs, the B819 Cross Hill Road in Bishopbriggs and Lenzie, and the B757 Auchnairon Road, the B819 Lindsay Begg Road, the A806 Initiative Road, Woodley Road, and Garngabor Avenue. The B757 Glasgow Road in Lenzie, and these routes will be signposted. Internal diversion routes will also be signposted. SGD Karen Donnelly, Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal Services, Eastern Bartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Eastern Bartonshire Council, Murrayfield Bishopbriggs, temporary closure. Order 2022. On the 22nd of March 2022, the Eastern Bartonshire Council made the above-named order under Section 14(1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984. As amended, this makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle, with the exception of vehicles engaged in works, on Murrayfield Bishopbriggs, from its junction with Villafield Drive south-westwards for a distance of 20 metres, and thereby by reason of the works being executed on or near this road. This order will operate from 9:30 a.m. on Monday the 4th of April until 6 p.m. on Monday the 18th of April 2022. Alternative route. The alternative routes will be way of Villafield Drive, Ashfield and Murrayfield Bishopbriggs, and these routes will be signposted. SGD Karen Donnelly, Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal Services, Eastern Bartonshire Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Nicole now set to be splash hit for Britain. Kirkintilloch and Kilsyth Amateur Swimming Club water polo player Nicole Morrison is set to take to the world stage after being selected for the British Junior Water Polo squad. The teenager was called up after a selection weekend training with the best players from across Britain, and is the first club member to get to that stage of British water polo selection. Nicole, 15, began playing the sport at the age of 10 with the club and was soon identified as a top prospect, gaining selection for the Scottish junior squad. Club head water polo coach Nico Fenu said, quote, "The step up to the Great Britain squad is a great reward for all the hard work that Nicole has put in over the last few years." End quote. Club Development Officer Alan Scobie added, quote, "We are all so proud of Nicole for her selection to the British junior squad. It's always great to see new players come into the sport and make such great progress." Rob Roy battled back to make their point. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy twice came from behind to earn a point from their West of Scotland Football League Premier Division clash with Glen Afton at Guy's Meadow on Saturday. The East Ayrshire side twice went in front through Jamie McKernon and Aaron Miller, but on each occasion Rob Roy bounced back to level through Gary Arbuckle and Ben Daly. Rab's gaffer, Stuart Maxwell, said, quote, "We dominated large spells of the game, but were sloppy with our quality and decision making in the final third." End quote. The draw leaves Rob Roy 7th from the bottom, still behind Glen Afton on goal difference, but with 2 games in hand. Roswell, also battling to avoid being one of the 7 teams to get regulated, drew 1-1 at home with Rutherglen Cairn. Jack McIlveen gave Glens a 10-minute lead at Petershill, but a wonder strike from Alan Woodhouse in the final minute earned them a point. In Conference B, Ashfield clinched promotion to the new Division's second setup with a 2-0 win at Ardeer Thistle, John Barr and Ryan McManus getting the goals. Petershill remained second in Conference C after a 3-1 win at Vale of Clyde, their 16th successive league win. Peasy scorers were Evan Glasso, Anthony Eadie and Craig McGregor. This week's fixtures: Wednesday, South Challenge Cup quarter-final, Bo'ness United versus Petershill. WOSFL Premier Division, Rossvale versus Darville. Saturday, WOSFL Premier Division, Rob Roy versus Kilwinning Rangers. Conference B, Ashfield versus Renfrew. Conference C, Petershill versus St. Rochs. Ross secures World's place. Kirkintilloch curler Ross Patterson's rink has been selected to represent Scotland at next month's World Championships in the US. Patterson, Kyle Waddle, Duncan Menzies and Craig Waddle claimed their place in Las Vegas after winning the recent Scottish Championships in Dumfries. The selection has caused some controversy in curling circles, as they were chosen ahead of Bruce Moat's Olympic silver medal winners, who missed the Scottish Championships, the selection event for the Worlds, because it clashed with their return from Beijing. However, Patterson is focused fully on the Worlds, which will take place at the Orleans Arena from April 2nd to 10th. Skip Patterson is the only member of the team to have been involved previously in a World Championships, as part of Team Brewster's 6 years ago, then as 5th man for Team Murdoch the following year, and most recently in 2018 for Team Moat, when the event was last staged in Las Vegas, and they won bronze. Quote, "First and foremost, it is always a great honour to represent Scotland, especially at World Championship level," end quote, said Patterson, who has just celebrated his 38th birthday. Especially at World Championship level, said Patterson, who's just celebrated his 38th birthday. It's nice going back there. I know the arena and the setup with the hotel. It's a fantastic setup and the crowds are great, so it'll be really exciting to be there. It's just a really special place to go. So to have that opportunity with my team is unbelievable. While his teammates will all be making their World's debut in the event, they have experience of major events and Patterson confident they will not be phased. Quote, "We have a similar lineup to what we had at the Europeans in 2019, Patterson pointed out. Obviously we had Michael, brackets Goodfellow, with us then, and Craig was our 5th man. So to have this 5th major championship together is amazing. We have faced some challenges and now are just so focused and training hard to ensure that when we go away we represent Scotland well, which I'm sure we will. I'm delighted for all the guys going to their first Worlds. We've got experience as a team and Kyle's been to an Olympics, but this is Craig's first international championship as a player, so it's extra special for him." Patterson continued, "I couldn't be happier for him. It's nice to have Tom, brackets Brewster, with us as well. Tom's been an unbelievable support to us this year as a team. We've had adversity, but we've peaked at the right time in terms of performances, and we're building up nicely. So we're all feeling good going into the Worlds. We're aware of the field that we'll be up against, including the Canadians, after the Briar was completed at the weekend with Team Gushue winning. It's always a tough field, and it's a long week with a lot of games. But we've played a lot of those teams before though, so we've got every reason to be confident. Brad Goucher's got a fantastic team and is coming off the back of the Olympics, as is Sweden's Niklas Eden. So we're playing against Olympic gold and bronze medalists. But we've all played at international level before, and we've won a Grand Slam a few years ago now. We've got every reason to be confident going into the World Championships, and we've got a really good feeling within the team. We just need to use that as a positive and build on what we've already achieved. Curling always gets a little bit more limelight after the Olympics. We're just excited to have this opportunity to represent Scotland. It's a special feeling and not one that everybody gets to experience, so we're very lucky to have that opportunity. Sports Digest. Rugby, Lenzie. Lenzie went down 60-15 to their Tennent's West Division first match at leaders Stewartry. This Saturday, Lenzie are at Strathendrick, while unbeaten title chasers Allenglens, 11 points behind Stewartly with 3 games in hand, are at Carrick.
Thank you for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, brought to you by Q & Review Print Speaking to the Blind. If you've any feedback, you're welcome to call us on 0141 772 3976. If you enjoyed this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel.